everybody, and welcome back to Alex Elliott Golf, and welcome to the channel if you're a brand new viewer. Don't forget to subscribe and give all this content a thumbs up. So we're in January and we're going to start by helping you guys out on the golf course. So today we're going to talk about the two biggest mistakes golfers make when they're playing golf. So let's get straight into it. The first mistake I find that when golfers playing golf is their alignment. Very often people have the perception of where they're aiming and where they're actually aiming will be two totally different things. Say for example, one of my lessons the other day, we were out on the golf course and we were actually aiming very much right at target. So I said, where do you think you're aiming? And he thought he was actually aiming at the correct part of the fairway. Whereas when we actually highlighted it, where we felt like he was aiming where he was aiming, were two totally different things. So my number one biggest mistake with club golfers would be their alignment to the target. So let's talk about a really kind of simple drill in terms of how we can check our alignment, but also how we can go through a process to help us align correctly. So we've got two alignment sticks here. What we're going to do is we're going to talk through a process of how we can actually just check our alignment. So what I want you to do is, I want you just to place the alignment sticks to the side to begin with. And you might need one of your golfing buddies to do this with you. I want you to put those feet down and address yourselves to the target to actually where you're aiming and where you actually think you're aiming. And then from there, what I want you to do is I want you to use your golf club to put down where your feet were. And then from there, let's feel like we can get these two lines parallel to where your feet line was, okay? So that one would be there, and then this one would be here. So you can see here how we've got kind of these three parallel lines there, and I kind of like to use three. One, kind of the two create this hitting area, then this one is our feet line, and hopefully, obviously we're trying to hit a neutral shot with a fade, the feet might be slightly different, but if we're just talking about overall alignment to the target, this is a really good way in terms of how we can highlight where we're aligned. And straight away here, I can see I was actually probably a little bit down the right half, whereas now when I stand over the golf ball, I can feel I can tweak myself a little bit left and make sure my alignment's correct. So that's all well and good, but we can't do that when we're actually out on the golf course playing our competition. So let's talk through a process of how we can actually establish a good alignment, good setup, and then hopefully bestow confidence in us. And now, the biggest thing I find is when people actually change their alignment, it feels really awkward. Say for example, the gentleman I used right at the start in the example, aiming very much to the right of target. When we got him aligned to the target, he felt like he was aiming very, very left. So this is something where your perception of where you are and what actually is happening will take a little bit of getting used to. But let's talk about how we can actually go through and how we can align to the target. So I'm going to kind of talk about this in kind of my two-stage process, okay? Firstly, we're going to take our target, trace that line all the way back. Then once we trace that line all the way back, we can pick a target right in front of us, and then we go in with the club first, place the club down, feet parallel to that. But we're going to talk through that right now. So let's talk through where we're going to aim. So I'm going to use the inside of that left bunker straight down there, straight down this fairway. Then from there, I trace the line all the way through intermediate target, just in front of my golf ball. So I'm picturing that line in my head right there. Firstly, place my club down so the top edge of my driver is at 90 degrees to that ball's target line. Then from there, I like to build my stance around where I put my club head. I find a lot of the time if you go with your feet first and you'll adjust, you very often kind of get into that habit of aiming incorrectly. Whereas if we take the intermediate target, picture that line, intermediate target, this leading edge of our golf club here at 90 degrees to that ball's target line. Then from there we can build our stance around it and we can make sure we're aligned correctly to the target to give ourselves the best chance of actually hitting the shot where we want to hit it. Very often if we're misaligned, hit a good shot, our brain will actually register that as a bad shot. We don't want that to happen, we actually put a good swing on it. So let's hit this one down the fairway now. Let's go through that process again. Pick the intermediate target, trace it back. Got the intermediate target to my ball's target line, feet around my club head. Look at the target, hit it. Really nice shot there. And for me, that was something where I really felt like, yes, okay, I felt a little bit awkward because I usually aim a little bit right, but I knew I had confidence in my setup, my routine, to actually allow me to hit a really good golf shot. So let's get on to the second biggest mistake club golfers make when playing on the golf course. So, does that remind you of your own golf game? or a golf game that one of your partners has. Stands over the golf ball for far too long. So I was stood over the golf ball there for roughly about probably 8 seconds, which felt like an absolute age to me. I'm someone that spends quite a short time over the golf ball. So for me, what does that do when you spend a lot of time over the golf ball? For me, it kind of gets bad thoughts going through your head. I'll analyse the line more, I'll analyse the surroundings, so that could be bad things in terms of bunkers, hazards, what swing thoughts have I got. All these things kind of build up, contemplating snowball into a position where I find it very hard to hit a golf shot, and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this would kind of resonate with that and think the same things. So what can we do to spend less time over the golf ball? For me, the root cause is this: not having a pre-shot routine. So let's talk through a really simple pre-shot routine that can help us spend no longer than 4 seconds over the golf ball. That's what we need to work to. That's your constraints. Now, for you people that spend a lot of time over the golf ball, this may feel rushed, but trust me, once we get used to it, this will really feel like it lifts a weight off your golf game. You'll feel you have less swing thoughts, and hopefully we start seeing some better golf too. So what we're going to do is, so we can see we've got a bit of dew on the ground this morning. So what I want you to do is I want you to draw a line on the ground there that's going to be separated by your thinking zone and your playing zone. So your playing zone will spend no longer than 4 seconds inside it, okay? So whatever swing thoughts we've got, I've got 110 yards here, pitching wedge distance for me. I'm going to have my two kind of practice swings and my swing thoughts outside of here. So I've taken into account what club I'm going to hit already. I've taken into account what shot I'm going to hit and where I'm going to aim, okay? So I've done all that thinking outside in the thinking zone. I'm not doing that over the golf ball, increasing the time I'm spending over the golf ball. So two swing thoughts for me is wide and wide on the way through. First practice swing. Second practice swing, I'm going to hit the shot. Follow it like the shot tracer. Right, okay. Now I'm over into the playing zone. Club down, feet around it, like we did on the first big mistake. Look at the target and hit. Looks pretty close, that one. So as you can see there, my whole routine probably took about 10 seconds. Whereas you guys that actually spend roughly 10 seconds over the golf ball, you can see how you kind of sometimes get a bit more tense, get a bit more kind of complicated in terms of swing thoughts. Whereas I'm transitioning from a thinking zone to a playing zone, keeping it all fluid, one look at the target, keeping relaxed, keeping the swing thoughts, hitting the shot away. So you can see there, having that fluidity in terms of thinking and playing zone will hopefully rub off into your own golf game. So there you go, guys. Two big mistakes, okay? So first big mistake was your alignment. Very often people play at club golf level or any level, matter of fact, have really poor alignment, either way off to the left, way off to the right, and then when they change that, it's a very, very hard transition. But you know the routine in order to check your alignment and how you're going to actually do that on the golf course. Number two, the biggest mistake, second biggest mistake, is how we actually spend too much time over the golf ball, and they bring in bad swing thoughts, bad kind of things of the surroundings, and that snowball effect of really bad thoughts going through your head. So you've got the fix for that. That is a really quick, simple routine. Draw your line in the dew. No problem about doing that. There's no rule that says you can't. So that's really going to help you establish a thinking zone and a playing zone, and hopefully lead you to some better golf out on the golf course. Thank you guys for watching today's video on Alex Elliott Golf. Don't forget to subscribe and give all this content a thumbs up.